Hello everyone. In this video, I want to show you my teaching practice by using information transfer activity in teaching reading and writing. But before we go to the explanation, I want to introduce myself first. I'm Dini Aurelia Agustina Putri. My student's number is 1921222094 and I'm a student in English Education Department at Siliwangi University. Alright, now I want to introduce you to information transfer activity. So, what is information transfer activity? This is an information transfer activity involves getting students to put spoken or written text into another form, such as a chart, grid, picture, table, or diagram, or vice versa. And make sure that the students can just copy chunks without understanding them by requiring a different organization to the text. This task encourage a deep processing of information. The interpretation of text, diagram, or tables is a skill that is very useful both in academic and everyday life. For example, they may read instructions on how to get from A to B and then draw a map showing the sequence, or they may read information about a subject and then represent it as a graph. Alright, now let's watch my teaching practice. In my teaching practice, first I explain to the students what material will be discussed. Here, the material is about descriptive text, and I tell them the description of descriptive text, also the structure, like identification and description. Which explains something you want to describe, and the second is description. A description of something, uh, animals, things, place, or person, describing its features or colors, or anything related to the character described. And we'll move to the example. Here, there are two beds. And for the example, I use picture, a picture of two bags, and also the price, and the text, a description text that describing that picture exactly. So the concept is I want students to what is it change to transfer from a picture to a text, and I want one of my students to read the example by themselves.
I just bought new bags from an online shop. I couldn't choose which one I liked the most, so I bought two bags. So now I have two new bags. The bags are blue and gray. I bought the blue one for a hundred rupiahs and the
Thousand.
gray one of a thousand,
100,000.
a hundred thousand, sorry, miss, rupiah, and the gray one for 90,000 rupiah. The blue bag is more expensive than the gray bag. I think it's because the blue one is more clever than the gray one. I love my gray bags as much as I love my blue bag.
Okay, good job. Thank you, Surya.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay, now you can see the comparison in this text. For example, the blue bag is more expensive than the gray bag, and I think it's because the blue one is more colorful than the gray one. And then I love my gray bag as much as I love my blue bag. Right, here we can see that there are comparison degree used in this text. That is more expensive and as much as. So what is comparison degree? Here's the example. In addition, I also explain about comparison degree, and it can be used
First,
to
it's cheap,
assess the students'
and
writing,
the
whether
cheapest.
they used this comparison
Next,
degree or not.
large,
I also let the
larger,
students
and the
to read
largest.
the example by themselves.
Short, shorter, and shortest. And then the next big, bigger, and the biggest. And the last, fat, fatter, and the fattest.
Okay, here I only give you example of one syllabus word of adjective and adverb, and I want you to try to make a descriptive text.
So, in collaboration aspects, I divided students into two groups, group 1 and group 2, and then
Picture and
uh,
try to describe it.
the practice is to change the picture to a descriptive text like the example before. And don't forget to pay attention to the comparison degree, of course, as uh, as aspect to assess their writing. Here is the answer from group 1. They choose the apple picture and then they make a descriptive text about the apples, and it is appropriate. It is very exactly the same with the picture. They say there are 10 apples, seven red and 3 greens, and they also mention some comparison degree, and I think they quite understand about this activity, this material, and I think information transfer activity here is useful for teaching reading and writing of students. Here is the answer from group 2, and they did the great job too. Alright, maybe that's all for the explanation about information transfer activity in teaching reading and writing from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.